like who here really loves football like that, and like lives for it. There's probably very few, and even maybe some of those guys don't even make it. Over there, you're competing against fucking everybody. Not here though.
Right, exactly. I yeah, I don't know. I think I think one is there's there's two ways of like money aspect of it, because there's a different way. What I've noticed is there's a different way of how American sports operate compared to around the world. And what I mean by that is there's a uh, in America, what we try to do the American sports model in general is to make a franchise team. You want to be franchise, and when you get a franchise team, that means that no matter, see, this is where I think the motivation is lacking in players or athletes or whatever it is, because what tends to happen is, let's say you're a basketball player, and this is why I never understood the NBA in one way. And respect to Kobe Bryant, he's a baller, right? Or these
Yeah.
guys. But the thing of it is I never kind of understood his motivation, because whether they won a championship ring or not, they were always in the NBA, right? And there was a classic quote where the when LA Clippers, the basketball team, was completely bad. They didn't know how to play basketball. They were not good at all until they got that, what was that guy's name? Blake Griffin, right? He kind of revitalized LA Clippers.
Yeah, I
But
remember that.
yeah, the point of it is the guy was like, well, why do you coach, or why do you own the Clippers, right? They suck. They're terrible. They always lost every season, last place, no NBA finals, nothing, right? The guy said, because they make me billions of dollars. And then you kind of have to think about it, right? And how does a Clippers team that gets last place all the time make him billions of dollars? Why? People pay ticket prices, people buy beer, people buy food, people buy the jerseys, people buy merchandise and so on. And it makes him a bunch of revenue, right? But the point of what I'm trying to say is that even though LA Clippers were last place, they never left the NBA. They were always NBA. They were always an NBA team. Do you know what I mean?
Can't do that over there for soccer.
Right. You can't do that. Yeah. The European model of it is that it's more like whoever's the best teams, whoever are the best teams get to stay in the league, and whoever are like the worst teams exit the league.
And let somebody else come up.
Exactly. Right. And the models are different, and the money system, the money flow is different, right? That you talking clubs like Real Madrid, Barcelona, Man United, they make billions of dollars, right? It's not like they don't have money, like like professional sports teams in America. It's just that the money flow and the dynamics of the sports are different. They don't follow that American sports model. I think that's why a lot of the times these teams kind of suffer as well. I think it's a little bit more than just the players on the field. I mean, look at LAFC. You just told me, Drew. I mean, they got good players. They got Bale, they got Cialini, they got Carlos Vela. I mean, they got legitimate players, right? But do you think that Cialini gives a fuck whether LAFC wins the MLS Cup or not? I doubt it. I don't
No,
think
he
he
just wants to
cares.
play and get his check probably.
Right, exactly. He probably doesn't give a fuck whether they win the league or not. He's just getting paid.
I wonder, that'd be a good question to ask some of these guys though.
What, the motivation?
Well, that's why Ronaldo's so good because his motivation doesn't stop. So it's like that's what I
Right.
think makes a difference between like some of these players that make it and don't, and it's like you either want it and you'll sacrifice everything for it, or you don't want it that bad and you'll play at a good level.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
I-
tough.
it's tough. I mean, I don't think, like what do you think? I mean, I don't know. I This would be a good question. I don't know if it would be. something that's appropriate to ask somebody like that. But what do you think Cristiano Ronaldo's like motivation is still? I mean, that dude's won everything. He's a multi-billionaire, owns properties. I mean, he's one of the best players that ever played the game ever, as is Messi. I don't want to get into that debate, but
No,
what why do you think that well, I mean, what motivates him still? You know what I mean? There's nothing more he can win. He's won everything, basically.
he probably just likes to be in shape and stay fit and that's what I would think. Like he's all about his look and stuff like that. So you don't think he enjoys taking care of himself like that? And then he loves the game. So it's like those two things combined, that would equal that. He probably doesn't even the money helps now, but I'm sure he probably
Sure.
doesn't even care as much about that.
I'm sure that money doesn't even mean anything at this point. You know what I mean?
He's not even able to spend it like he would. Maybe vacations and buy cars and all that, but I'm saying it's not like he can really like do a bunch. He has practice every day, and then he's a top player, so he's traveling all over the place, going to different countries, playing all the time. He'll what? They get like 2 weeks off, maybe a year or a month.
Sure. Yeah, something like that.
At
But
his level, I'm saying, you
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. At his exactly. I mean, he's playing at the top of the top, man. You know what I mean?
Can't get any bigger than that, really.
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I mean, so this would be a kind of a question. When does he want to like settle down? And I don't mean that he should retire. That's not what I'm saying. I mean, but what he's at a point of the light in his career where the money it doesn't matter to him. He's got enough of it. You know what I mean? He's won
Of course.
all the trophies. But when does it start getting like not this is what I'm trying to say. Like, when does it get to a point where it's boring for him that, like, on Monday he has to go travel to Ukraine to play a Champions League football match, and then on Thursday then he plays a EPL match, and then on Saturday he has to fly to fucking Dubai to play another Champions League match. Like, when does that start to like be a burden rather than fun? You know what I mean? It's like, oh man, I gotta get on a plane again. I gotta get my passport. You know what I mean? You know what I'm
I
trying to
saw
say?
I saw an interview where he said that he is bored, like it is boring doing that. I know that I not that I've been like there, but you already know, dude. When you play soccer, you can't do
Yeah.
anything. You got to stretch. You got to take care of yourself. You got to eat right. You got to be on point. You really don't want to waste more energy than you need to if you have a game the next day or whatever. So you really kind of got to be on it every day, And it's like, yeah, it gets old, dude. If you it just gets old as you get older, and then if you don't play and get paid for it, well, then why would you continue to do it unless you just really like to do that?
Right. That's what I'm saying. I mean, when does that stop being fun? I can imagine like earlier in the career, like, wow, I get to travel all these places. This is pretty awesome. But then after a while, it must get like boring. You know what I mean?
Become a nuisance at sometimes, staying in hotels, doing this and that, going with the teams. But I don't know, maybe some people like that, dude. Like I wouldn't want to be a firefighter and be hanging out with people all the time and eating dinner with like all these people. Like even if they're your friends, it's like you get older, you want to see your friends, or at least me. I don't want to see people all the time. I want my space and my time. So think about if you have to do that for firefight and then go work with them and then sleep in the same place as them. It's like that's like I don't know. It's kind of too much.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, some of these guys like the EPL schedule. I mean, some of these guys they play Easter Sunday, they play, New Year's Day, they play Christmas Day. They play the day after Christmas. So I mean, they don't get a chance to stay with their families and things like that. And I get that. I get that. That's the sacrifice you have to make in order to get your career and things like that. I understand that, but I mean, at a guy like 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 I'm saying, like at a Messi status or Ronaldo status, it's like when is it like enough where you're like, dude, I don't want to play on Christmas Day. You know what I mean? I don't want to play on Easter Sunday. I want to be spending Easter Sunday with my son, or you know what I mean? Like it kind of becomes secondary in a way to me. I don't know. That's
I don't know. I was always like that. I didn't care about that stuff. I mean, I would go enjoy seeing my family after I played, but I didn't care to spend the whole day doing nothing. I'd rather play a game and then go spend time with my family.
sure. So you had a different motivation, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. See, like I was the opposite. Like it was cool, but I mean, Easter Sunday is a time to stay with my family, so I'd rather be at home. You know what I mean? I wasn't motivated for games like that. You know,
I'm I'm just saying you can't tell me that it doesn't feel good. I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying on your aspect, you got to take care of yourself always. So yeah, you can't take care of your family if you don't take care of yourself first. And I'm not saying put yourself first in everything, but I'm saying to go play a game in the morning or something and then
yeah,
feel good for the rest of the day, you'll have a better day with your family because you're going to be in a better mood, I would say. No?
that's a good point. That's a good point. But I look at it as like, let's say you have to travel to, you know, I think
I'm talking on a lower scale. I'm sorry. I'm not, yeah, I understand what you're saying. I'm not talking about flying and doing all that and being maybe not getting home till at night.
right,
Not
exactly.
Yeah, not that or anything. I'm not talking that. I'm talking just, the
Oh, I mean, yeah, when we were younger, yeah, that's fine. You go, that was awesome. I like that. Yeah, no, that exactly. I agree with that. But
yeah,
I'm saying like, but I'm saying if I have a family and then they tell me, hey, we got to play a game on Easter Sunday, and let's say we're living in London and we have to go up to Newcastle, which is 2 hours away. So that means 2 hours out of the day. Then we play the match. That's 4 hours gone, and then 2 hours back home, 6 hours plus post match meeting. That's 7 hours. That's like an 8 hour day, dude. I didn't even spend 1 minute with my family. Maybe one Easter, that's fine. Two Easters, that's fine. But I mean, as if I'm like 10 years deep into a career doing this, I mean, it might get old. Do you know what I mean?
but I guess you'll always have time to spend with them later. I don't want to say like that because maybe you won't, but I'm saying he's just I guess someone would be looking at it as well as like they're going to provide for their family for the rest of their life for that
Right. That's a good point.
at
But
at the higher level.
I would think, I don't know. For me, in that situation, my family would have to be understanding that that's what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's hard to find though, like a woman that'll stick by you or something.
And then if you have a little kid that's 5 years old, where's daddy? Where's daddy? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
I mean,
still,
yeah.
maybe it'd be tough. But I think making the money and having your family taken care of for life is way more important than like the little that kind of thing. Because what else would you do? You'd still, yeah, you might see your kid on a schedule, but you're going to be working 8 to 5 or whatever, Monday through Friday, and only have the weekends when it's like you got practice and stuff. And yeah, it takes up time, but you can kind of go
Yeah.
do whatever you want after.
Well, absolutely. I mean, this type of a job allows in that way a sort of freedom. You know what I mean? You're not working at a 9 to 5 job, just clocking in and clocking out. In one way, you kind of are, but it's different. It's a game, so it's a
And
different
your
type of job.
games are different times and stuff too, so it's not like it's like the same all the
Right,
time.
right, exactly.
So
Uh,
that would keep it somewhat exciting. I don't know.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's a question for a guy like Ronaldo or Messi, because Ronaldo is, I mean, he's what, 36, right? He's got sons. I mean, does he? I get it, right? He wants to keep playing. I understand all of that, yeah. But does he want to coach his son? Does he want to be a part of? You know what I'm saying? Like, does he want to teach him some things, or I don't know. I'm talking at a level where he doesn't necessarily, where Cristiano Ronaldo, like, dude, to be honest, Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi are at levels where they don't have to play every game. You know what I mean? And wear their bodies down. They can play
Yeah.
smarter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know. I understand. But they might spend more time with their family than you know. I don't know.
That's a good point. That I'm not sure. I don't
Because
know
we don't
about
we
that.
don't we don't know. And they're not like recording them all day long, showing what they're doing. They go to practice in the morning for 2 hours, maybe meetings once in a while, and then you go practice during preseason maybe twice a day sometimes, and then it's just
Yeah,
practice one time a day and games on the
yeah,
weekend. It's not that bad.
that's true. That's not a bad schedule as well.
That's a
Yeah.
that's a solid schedule.
Yeah, and that's true. They don't really show like the behind the scenes of their personal lives. Why would you, right? I mean, we don't need to know that shit.
No, I wouldn't want people knowing all that, either.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. That's your private life anyway.
and you want to keep that private for as long as you can.
Yeah, exactly. Because once the media gets hold of it, dude, it's like game over, man.
Yeah, that's true.
So anyway, I'll be right back. Just keep talking about about maybe Cristiano Ronaldo and spending time with his family, and give me just keep talking, and I'll be right back. Yeah.
My phone's dying though. Just giving you a
Y-
heads up, so we
Yeah.
don't have too much longer. But yeah, no problem.
No worries. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just talk on the subject. I'll be right back.
All right. I think that Ronaldo. I think Ronaldo spends more time with his family than most people know. And then I agree with Steve. It would be tough to do that, but I think in the long run, the benefit he sees the benefit for that. And I know he loves the game. I've watched documentaries on him and stuff like that. And he really cares for his family. And most of the time I'll see him in pictures or stuff with his family on Christmas and big holidays and stuff like that. Sometimes he goes on vacation. So it might not be as rough as we think or people assume. And yeah, I mean I would do it if given the opportunity or I don't know. Yeah, I would. And then you can go anywhere in the world, let's be honest, with your family. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, dude. All right, man. So I'm back. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these guys, what they do is incredible, man, for sure.
Yeah, dude, that'd be tough, man. Like you
It
said,
would,
tough on body, everything, mentally. You gotta be a strong individual to do all that, 100%.
well, I think that's a good segue into that. What was that documentary? What was that documentary that you wanted me to watch? Talk about the documentary, man.
Oh, that's crazy. Tigers.
Yeah.
Do you know what the guy's name was?
Bergensen, that Swedish guy.
I don't know. He's just a good player, dude. He's 16 years old, and Inter Milan, the B team, signed him. So he was playing with an American that was a goalie. That guy kind of looked out for him. He got a good signing bonus, bought a car, and then played one match with the actual pro team. But they said they only did that. He would have played pro, but I think the only reason they did that was so they could raise his value just in case they wanted to sell him. And then
Right.
he got in love with some chick. They got all involved, and it kind of it that's the thing. That's what it goes back to what we were saying, the sacrifice. So he worked his whole life to get to that point, and this chick was getting him fines and having him sneak out and see her, and he couldn't do all that. He was taken away from his training, and he got to be focused. And so he ended up breaking it off with her and kind of went through some stuff. Got hit by a truck, and then after that, he stopped playing soccer.
Yeah, let's see. That it's a Tigers, the documentary, the true story of teenage football talent Martin Bengtsen's life. I'm pretty sure.
He's Swedish.
Yeah, I fucked his name up, but he's Swedish. Yeah, and what his life was during that time. Do you think? Oh man, I think that must have been so hard on him. 16 years old, from Sweden flying to Italy at one of the biggest clubs in Italy, bro.
Yeah, and then he was like top 8 of like 100 of like prodigy or like players that were coming up. I think it was in Europe in the Gazzetta or Gazzetti or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
He was top 8. So I always wondered who was above him or who was on that list because
that's a
he
good
is
question.
playing. Yeah, I know.
That's a good question. It'd be interesting to
See,
know who
see if you
was
could
on that
pull that
list.
up. See if you could pull it up real quick.
Let's see.
It was in the
So
Gazzetti, or I don't know how to say it, but
yeah, like in like a Gazzetti, like a Italian newspaper, or
just type his name and put top 100 players of
okay.
Europe.
Yeah. Let's see. So let's look it up. Martin
I'm pretty sure it'll come up.
Bengtson, top 100 players.
Top 100.
Top 100. Let's see. Oh, it says here that he attempted suicide.
Yeah, he was running down the highway. He was running down the highway straight into cars, and then the last person that hit him was a truck, and he was slowing down to get off at the exit.
He must have had a very big mental breakdown.
Well, it's when he broke up with that chick, and then a lot of the guys on the team didn't like him because he was so good. then they were messing with his girl and like stuff like that.
Let's see.
Like you said, he was only 16 years old. Like, what's wrong with those guys?
I'm not surprised, but it seems like Inter Milan didn't they kind of did him dirty.
Yeah, and they also blamed one of the Americans. That's what they would do to sell him sometimes. Someone found weed. They found weed in like the dorms that they lived in or whatever, and
Right.
then they blamed it on the American guy and sold him to a second division team in Holland.
See, that's like that. We were talking about that. I can't find the list, but I'll have to look more in.
It's okay.
Yeah. But what were we talking about that one time where that's probably why Americans don't do well overseas too, because of like dirty tactics like this.
Yeah, I've seen it before. They did that stuff to me too. Like
That's
I told
dirty.
you, you train and you get in shape for like a month, and some of these guys take 2 weeks off of vacation to go vacation for preseason. They do that, and you're putting in the work, and you're just as good, if not better, and those guys play over you. What the hell?
Yeah, that's not fair. That's dirty.
It is dirty. So if they're doing that already, what are they going to do in the future?
Right, exactly. Something even worse, probably, you know?
Probably. And a lot of guys got in Germany. I'm not going to talk down on Germany. It's just really hard to play there. A lot of guys get screwed over.
I can imagine. Let's see. So, but so what did they? So they wanted to raise his value and then sell him. That's so dirty, dude. That's so cutthroat business from them. They didn't care about him.
Yeah, it's fucked up, huh?
Yeah, that is fucked up.
They more care about the value of the player and then making you into something, and that's what the president was saying. If he doesn't see it in you, he's not going to keep you around. So they kept him around. They saw it in him, but it's like you're replaceable, you know?
Sure.
It's pretty
yeah,
sad.
but they're making him replaceable in a underhanded way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if they're going to say like, hey, you know, Steve, you're going to play for Inter Milan or whatever club, and then we're going to trade you. Okay, I get it. But if you're, you know, that brings up a question. That brings up a lot of questions for me, which I don't know if we're going to get into it now on this podcast, but I wonder if that was something similar to what happened to Freddie Adu, man. They propped him up so well, but they did him dirty. Like you know what I'm saying? Like they signed him for an MLS club. They brought up his value. They traded him and put him on loan to a different club. And every club he was on brought him up his value and then traded him off. You know what I mean? I wonder if that's what happened to him. Huh? Yeah, that's messed up. And he was 14.
Probably, yeah. He probably just didn't turn out to what they expected or wanted of him.
And to be fair, or to be honest, it might not have been the aim for him to be a top player either.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I don't know. That's like the dirty stuff about football nobody talks about. You know what I mean?
It sucks, dude. You see it. Well, it's because people don't see it because they don't. Well, maybe they just don't talk about it. I don't know. Who knows?
And probably a lot of this information they don't want that information to, get out.
It's cutthroat, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's really what it is, I would say.
And it's treating the players like baseball cards, to be honest.
Yeah, irreplaceable. They just trade you out real quick and get somebody else.
Right, exactly.
If you don't work out, then we're on to the next person.
Which, I mean, I understand it and I don't understand it. You know what I mean? I mean, if you were to tell me up front that this was going to happen to me, fine. All right. I get it. But if you're trying to prop me up, make me say, hey, you got to be playing on the top team, you got to do all this. And then all of a sudden I'm getting traded or getting sent down to lower divisions. I'd be like, what the fuck, bro? You know what I mean? Like what's happening?
Yeah.
You know?
No, I agree.
Because that's not what you signed up for. I mean, he's 16. He was 16. So he signed up for, he signed up to play football, just using his natural ability to get onto a top club. And then this is what is happening to him. You know what I mean?
Heck yeah, that's not fair.
That's not fair at all. That's actually that's uh, vulgar, dude. That's dirty. It's really dirty.
That's when I realized like I didn't want to play. I don't want to do all that. I don't care about that.
Yeah, because it takes away from the game. You know what I mean?
Because it's not about the game anymore. It's about business and performing and doing all that. When it's like, oh, dude, you're like putting so much pressure you can't even think. It's like, I just want to play, you know. And most of the time when you get out there, you do just play. But then the stress of off the field and going through, it's like, oh man, I don't need to deal with this, you know.
Exactly. I mean that's what it is. It's the backroom politics afterwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, if it was an ideal world where you just play the match and then you go home, you know what I mean? That would be great. But it usually doesn't happen like that. You're in meetings and boardroom meetings and manager meetings and all this shit that has nothing to do with the game. You're with agents and and all these managers and shit. It's like I don't know.
Stressful, dude. I'm telling you.
It's stressful, man.
You know.
Yeah. I know. So I've been around situations like that too, so I know how it goes. It's not that's the part of the untold story about the game that makes it not fun for people. But nobody wants to talk about that. Everybody wants to talk about glory and things like that. Well, yeah, that's all fun and good and things like that, but a lot of people don't see what goes on behind the scenes, that how those people got there, why those people were there, why those people are there, and why some people are not like that. And that's why I want to watch this documentary, because it tells about the story in a different way.
You need to watch it. It shows exactly how it is. Exactly. And exactly
That's,
how they treat the players.
dude, that sounds like a something that I need to get involved with and watch, man. So
It's all good.
anyway, man. So what are the top games that you're trying to focus on this week? Is there any interesting game?
I don't even know who's playing this week.
Oh man, there's a lot of preseason games right at the moment that it's hard for me to catch up with. I don't know. I don't know what anybody's playing. There's like some teams are playing in the US, some teams are playing in Europe. I don't know the schedules at the moment. It's like the preseason is all sporadic.
I know that they came on tour out here. Real Madrid was trained at UCLA, and they were playing a bunch of teams over here.
That's
I know
cool,
that.
man. That's
That
cool.
was recently on. It was
Yeah.
cool.
Is there any live matches that you've been to recently, or
I went to the Galaxy. I forgot who they played. That was the most recent. Oh no, and then I went to Orange County SC versus Monterey FC.
nice?
And
Yeah.
Ladule knew one of the guys who made it or whatever
Hey, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
on Monterey. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So I was thinking, we could have a watch along. And I'll have to stream it and then silence the sound, and then we can comment over the match for the next podcast. But I don't know the times. That's the thing. So like it could be like a good time for me here, but it could be like 2:30 in the morning over there. I don't know at the moment how to make it happen, but we can make it happen.
That sounds good. That's fine.
Sounds good, man. So I think it's a good chance or good time to wrap up the podcast for today. Always a pleasure having you on the podcast, man.
Yes, sir. You too. I appreciate.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, man. It's a good show. Always a good show. Always a good time. I'm thinking that once we get we can have a watch along, and it'd be pop open a couple brews and watch a good match. It could be a good time, man.
Sounds good. I'll get the Grolsch.
Yeah, I'll get this Czech beer stuff.
Yeah.
It'd be a good time. Watch along, man. It'd be fun.
Well, I'll talk to you. Well, I'll be in touch with you, and then we'll figure out what day works.
All right, man. So thanks for coming on. It was a great show. Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and we'll catch everybody on the next podcast. Yeah. So peace, man.
See you later.